I'm about to introduce to you author Tim C. Starr, and we're going to be talking about this book of his, brand new, came out in the beginning of September, called My Name is Prosperity. I found him, I was on my Amazon list and I saw this book and I read it. It's a really quick read, and I was like, yeah, I do think I want to talk to him. I think this is going to be really, really cool. So I got him, I messaged him, and he said yes. So here we are, and I am so excited. I have so many questions for him. So, everybody, here is Tim. Hi, everyone. I am so excited because I'm speaking with author Tim C. Starr, and we are talking about the book that you saw in the intro. It's called My Name is Prosperity. The audiobook just came out in September. Thank you so much, Tim. I found this book on Amazon. I was like, I need to talk to him. And then you said yes. So thank you so much.
I'm easy. Well, thanks for inviting me. This should be fun.
Yes, we have so much to talk about because I think that I've been following Abraham Hicks for since 2011.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I've seen her a couple of times. I've seen Esther a couple of times, and I am a subscriber, so I get all her new stuff all the time. So I am really well versed, and I love the way you put together this book. Like,
Great.
because of knowing what I know, I was like, oh, that's a really interesting way to explain it to somebody, law of attraction, to somebody who doesn't understand law of attraction.
Mm. There, there are issues sometimes just with the term, because
Right.
when you talk with somebody who's heard it, and just the words, I think everybody kind of gets this impression, and they think they know what it's about, even if they've never had it explained to them. And yeah, so everybody, it's like a lot of other things. We all have our own definitions of certain things. So
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is news.
And
Yeah.
I know, and it's almost like I hesitate to talk about it a lot, because everybody does have a preconceived. They're like, "Oh, you believe in that," and until you understand that it's not a belief, and I mean, it's like believing in gravity.
Exactly.
Okay, it's happening anyway. You can say like, "Well, I don't believe in it." Okay, that's fine,
Yeah.
but it doesn't change the fact that it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you can not believe in gravity too, and go, step off a building and see what happens. Um,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's working on you. It doesn't matter. So, and that's one of the cool things I think about it is, when people talk about law of attraction, they're really talking about using it with
Yes.
intention, right? And because you're using it all the time without intention. But when you start to think about it, then we're talking about sort of actively, consciously trying to accomplish something with it. And that's kind of, I don't know, overlooked, I think, in conversation a lot. But people don't, when you're new to the idea, you don't quite understand, I think, sometimes that it's going on, you're doing it, you're using it all the time.
Exactly.
Unconscious.
Exactly. And I was raised an evangelical Christian. Okay. And about, I don't know, 15 years ago, I had read a book, and I wish I could remember the name, and I can't. But what I remember is that when I started listening to Esther and really like trying to comprehend, it reminded me of this Christian book that I had read, where they talk about like you pray for something and then you let it go. And it was like, afterwards, after I started to listen to Esther more and understand more, I was like, it's the same concept. It really is. It's if everybody only understood, it's the same concept using different terminology.
Yep.
Any religion has the same exact concept. What you want to call God, okay. Right? Like whatever your term is that makes you comfortable, the universe, God, whatever. But I have found, with thinking about like things in my life that have manifested, okay, is the letting go. And you really go into that, which I love, because when you try to let go, you're not letting go. When you try to let go, you're not letting go, right?
Yeah. That's the conundrum, is that so much of this is you decide, I want the new car, and then you're like, I'm gonna get this new car, it's coming, and you'll tell it, oh, this car is coming. It's not coming because you're still focused on you don't have it.
Yes.
You know, you have to sort of, it's a tough line to stay on, where you're supposed to, you create this desire for something and you release that out into the universe or to God or whatever you want to call it, and then you're supposed to have no attachment to whether or not it comes true. And it's great when you can do it, and things really will work very well when you can do it. But it's that last little piece that is the toughest part of the whole deal. We have expectations about everything, and there's no way around that. I have an expectation my car is going to start, when I go out in the morning. But if it doesn't, how attached am I to that result determines my reaction to it. If I'm really attached to my car's going to start this morning, then maybe I'm mad or really frustrated, and the rest of my day is ruined because my car didn't start. Right. If I'm not that attached to what just happened, then it's like, all right, that's not what I would have chosen, but there's other options. I'll go take a bus. I'll be late to work. It's not the end of the world, whatever it is. So that's a big piece of making this thing work with intention.
Yeah. Right. And what I have found in my life is that the part that makes me more accepting is that when you are really following any religion strictly, okay, the way I was evangelical Christian, okay, is that I thought that if my prayers, quote unquote, weren't answered in the way that I wanted them to be, then God was saying no. Okay. Not understanding. So it's almost like it's been a relief, because it's not like the universe is saying no. It's on me to line up with that thing that I am requesting. Right. So it's not like I'm being punished, or, like that was just, I don't know. I wish that I could just tell people that think that way. It's like, no, it's not a punishment. It's not a punishment. It's a not lining up with.
Yeah. Okay. And it's also, you want to do this in 15 minutes, huh?
I know, really right. That's why I said we have to go again, because I knew we weren't going to do this in 15 minutes.
There are so many pieces to this. There are so many ways just to look at it. So all right, I like to use this analogy of, you're talking with somebody we've just explained how this is supposed to work, and they're not a believer in it, but they're willing to try it. They're willing to test it, right? But they're kind of like, and so they say, all right, I'll try this thing. And I've got a birthday coming in at the end of the month, in 30 days, I've got a birthday, and I want a new Corvette convertible. I don't know how it's going to come. You tell me I'm not supposed to have to worry about it. So, all right, universe, make it happen. And they through whatever means, they do what they're supposed to do, right? They have put that out there. They really do want it. And they're able to forget about it. They've released it. They're not expecting anything, or they're actually expecting that nothing will happen, but they're not paying any attention to it, and they go about their life. Birthday comes around and there's a party, and somebody walks in the door and hands them a box, and they open the box, and there's a model of a Corvette convertible, right? In that moment, we all get, because we all have those moments, right? In that moment, you get to choose how you want to look at this event. You can say, oh, I'll see, it doesn't work, right? I knew it didn't work. But you can also look at that and go, well, that's evidence that it is working. You didn't get exactly what you wanted, and there's reasons for that, right? You're right. Resistant to it in the first place. But the fact that you got a Corvette convertible placed in your hands for nothing, right. That, to me, that's pretty good evidence that you're moving in the right direction. Yes. So, and then depending on how you want to view what just happened, you can either get excited about it or not. And if you get excited about it, you're going to get more, and it makes it easier and easier and easier. So
yeah,
it's cool the way it works.
Right. When I look back, because I think that the best way to go about this is to look back on your life on things that you did get, and then try to remember where your feeling was at with that thing. And the first time that I really remembered feeling was I had been engaged. I was young, I was 21, and my fiance was a Marine, and our distance, back in the 80s, I mean, we didn't have texting, we didn't have, and we had like very little phone call communication. And I had decided, like, it was so bad, the relationship was so bad at that time communicating, I was just like, I gotta let this go, I'm planning my entire life around this, and this is just not going well. Well, I had this like moment of like, I'm done. I'm letting go. I don't know how this is going to happen. And I can't make it happen because he was so far away. And so, like, I had a sensation of just relief. Like, I was tired of fighting.
Yep.
So I let it go. And he called me in the middle of the night. Like, my phone rings by my bed. And he was like, you just need to get out here now. We just need to get this wedding over with. We just, like, forget the wedding. We'll just elope and let's just do this. And I was like, but I do remember. So if you can remember the sensation before the manifestation, and like I said, remember when I'm like, if you let go, if you're trying to let go, you're not letting go. You can't try to let go. You can't fake the letting go. It has to be a whole, like, seriously letting it go.
That's where Yoda comes in. There is no try, only do. Yeah.
Right.
It's the thing that, one of the interesting things is I have issues with the idea of, imagine the feelings that you're going to have when this goal, whatever it is, when that occurs.
Acting as if, yeah.
But if you've never experienced that, how do you experience it in advance?
Right.
What I can do, and what I think everybody can do, is to remember the feelings of anticipation. Like when you're a kid and it's Christmas morning and it's 6 o'clock and you got to wait another hour for your parents to get up before you can open any presents. It's here. I can't, all that excitement, right? That you can do, and you can use that. You apply that to this energy.
Yeah, I've never been good at that either. I really
No.
haven't. So, I don't, but I do look like, I wanted to move into this one townhouse, right? And it was perfect for me. And I was having a hard time because I was like, I don't think I can get it. I don't think they're going to approve me, right? And I remember I walked out and I looked up in the sky and there was this huge double rainbow. And then I was like, okay, it's all going to be okay. Like, I look for signs. I'm a sign person. So like at that moment, I was like, okay, it's going to happen. I'll be okay. And then it did. And that, so like, and then I look back on that. I'm like, okay, so maybe you can do that. Maybe it's a sign, like, no matter what, everything's going to be okay. And you can look for little signs along the way. I don't know. That has helped.
There's, the reality is there's a million ways to do this stuff. And there is no one way that works for everybody.
Right.
Here's my camera here a little bit. But so the trick is you got to find what works for you,
right? And
then just stick with that until it stops working, because that may happen too. And then if that happens, then you look for the next method. There's no cookie cutter approach. There are some basic concepts that will always be there that you have to apply or abide by. But and one of the things that excites me, right? I call myself a hopeful skeptic, because I'm too analytical for my own good. And you can tell me something and it sounds good, but I'm glad it worked for you. It hasn't worked for me yet. So I'm not all in yet. I need to test it. You got to show me how I can prove it to myself. But the quantum physics field of science is every day more and more proving this stuff to be real, proving all the metaphysical perspectives to be scientific, right? It's not mumbo jumbo, and it's not woo woo. It's just because there isn't proof yet doesn't mean it's not real.
Right.
So there's plenty of things that weren't proven, a year ago.
Right.
So
Well,
Yes.
what I loved about your book, because I want to talk about your book,
Oh yeah.
is is that okay? So there's prosperity, right? And my name is Prosperity, and there's and she's a she.
Yeah.
So what I love is that what she teaches. What is the guy? Is it you? Is it you use Tim, right? As
Yeah.
the
Yeah. It's written as it's me.
yes. So what she's teaching is that the way to it, and this is another part that I do have a hard time with, even though I truly believe it to be true, is the finding of joy. Because you can wait, like today I woke up, I was feeling I wasn't in a good mood. And I was kind of like, why am I not, like, nothing is wrong, nothing is, but then so I kind of had to get myself there. You kind of have to learn how to, because getting yourself to happiness is that's all we're trying to manifest anyway. So if you can get yourself there, that's what you want the stuff for anyway, right?
Well, that's it's so hard to try to talk about any of this in a short way. My belief and everything that I talk to people about, and when I do my speaking and things, it starts from the assumption that all we really we want to be happier today than we were yesterday, and we want to be happier tomorrow than we are today. That's it. It's the whole reason why we do anything that we do. It's an attempt to be happier than we are. And so the other piece of this is that the way you get happier is to learn, is to grow. And that doesn't happen at the end of it doesn't happen when you get the goal, right? The growth comes up from here to there. It's on the path. And when we're just focused on where we're trying to get to, you miss it all. You miss the whole thing.
Right.
And you'll get there. That's why people, talk so much about, oh, well, all these people that have all this stuff, but they're not happy. They're focused on the stuff. They're focused on the end goal. If you're paying attention along the way, you wouldn't care whether you got to the end goal.
Right.
I'm like trying to shift that perspective that it's the process is the purpose.
Right.
So.
And I think that if you can, the quicker, like if I can figure out that I'm not in a good mood, okay? Like
yes.
the quicker you can be like, wait a second, I'm off. Like something's off. And then I'm like, what is it? I don't know. Like, and then then the focus is, you can either meditate, which would take you out, like that, because Esther always says that, meditate until you get happier, until you can feel that disconnect, so that you can get back to, which sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't have time to do that right now. so then, you're like, okay, well, if I don't have time, how can I flip that switch in least amount of time as possible? She used to talk about the 17-second thing. She doesn't talk about it as much right now, but like you have 17 seconds to kind of switch that up without, see how quick you can catch yourself, which that's pretty difficult.
But that's one of the keys to being happy, is being able to achieve that third party, that watcher status, that perspective. Because in order to change what you're thinking about, you've got to be aware of what you're thinking about.
Right.
And what you just described of realizing I'm not in a good mood, that's that instant of that sort of third party perspective. And then you can make a choice at that point. But when you're just in the middle of the mix and you're just feeling it all and you're going, man, you can't do it.
Yes.
So,
have you ever seen her?
I did. I actually saw my wife and I went to the Conversation with Wayne Dyer. That was really cool.
Oh,
really cool.
I love watching it. I've seen the video, and first of all, I mean, I love him more than anything, and and then when he passed away a couple of years ago, did you ever see that picture that his daughter posted of like I guess the ocean where he used to swim?
I don't think so.
Right after you can look it up. Okay. I'm just going to explain it to everybody, but go look it up. If you put in like Wayne Dyer ocean and face or something, but she took a picture of it, and if you look at it, there is his face in the ocean. and it's really cool. I mean, it's really cool. But I mean, I've always loved him. I loved him first. I knew him first. You know, I knew his
Yeah,
work first.
yeah, me
But
too.
when when you watch him talk with her, because he's right there too, but he has questions for her. It's so cool.
I haven't, I've got the video, but I haven't gone back and watched it. But um, one of the things that hit me really strongly during that interview was toward the end, he wanted to just sort of kind of wanted to do a rant on how people should be this way or something. And she stopped him instantly. And he said, but Doug, but nope, that's you. Yeah, but nope, that's you. And he stopped and he just looked at her and said, I hate you. I mean, he was joking, but he's like, because he was not used to having people tell him, no, you're wrong.
Right.
And, by the time you get to that age and you've been the guru for decades,
Yeah.
you start believing it all. And there's nobody ever, other than his family, were apparently the only ones that kept him humble.
Yeah.
But he knew that she was right. And he had to laugh about it. He's like, you got me. But it was so funny to watch.
That is so awesome. I am like, I can't believe you actually saw that, because like I said, I've watched that video and parts of that video. But yeah, I think that if anyone's going to, stop my diet,
Yeah.
like only she can.
Yeah.
But when I went to one of her seminars in Philadelphia. And this is when she used to have her live videos posted. I used to buy them, like you could buy into a session, and she doesn't do it anymore, which I wish she did, but she doesn't. And so during that time, I had gone to see her in Philly. And the only thing I was really disappointed in is that it okay, so you're only there, you have like a room full of people, and there's only 3 hours. Those sessions go fast.
Yeah.
And when you realize how many people she actually pulls up, you might get 5, something like that. And I know that she always says you'll get your questions answered. Unfortunately, when you're in the moment there, you don't hear it. So you have to go back and listen, because you're like, no, you just want to get up there so bad, So I would like to go on one of her cruises. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people who have gone, and everybody says, the biggest thing that everybody says is that the energy when you are there in the room and everybody else is there for that same purpose, it's a different planet.
Oh my gosh. When she walked in, and I didn't think that I could see energy. I didn't take that as something that I could do, but there's no denying it. Like, so, and the way she stands against, a curtain, and she walks in, and it's almost like the energy just follows and then just settled right behind her. And it is incredible. I mean, for anybody who wants to say like she's crazy, she doesn't know what, go be in the room with her, and then tell me you can't feel something,
So I got a couple of different stories for you, but so a friend and I have a podcast called The Universe Between Your Ears.
I did want to talk about that. Yes.
And we had, I got introduced to this couple, and they channel. And it's somehow, I asked them how they do it, but they never really gave me a clear explanation. But somehow the husband is the receiver of the message. He passes it over to the wife, and she's the one who verbalizes, like Esther does. And we spent about an hour and 45 minutes, I think, talking to them. And it was like talking to Abraham. It was intense, just coming at you, and she's fast, and it's the same. She's very sort of aggressive in the way she talks. And when we finished, I stood up and I was wandering around my house, foggy. I would walk into a room and just be, why am I here? I don't know. I'll wander into another room, I guess. For a good half hour, I was just it was like a super jet lag or something. So, when you experience something like that, and I still say we can't be 100% certain that this is legit until we die. Right. And that's the only way we're going to be able to prove it for all us analytical people. But if these people are faking it, I mean, they deserve some serious awards. You can't deny that what's coming at you is profound. I mean, that's the best word. I mean, it's just there's stuff in that conversation that I was that's it'll change your life if you want. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And you know what? I've seen, we've seen Esther. If you want to look her up, everybody on YouTube, you can see talks of when she is not channeling, and you can tell
yes, so different.
absolutely that she is a very soft spoken. There are interviews with her and Jerry that, and then you watch her, when she is channeling,
Yeah,
you can see it in her eyes, you can see it in her, I mean, her whole expression
that
changes.
whole demeanor.
And like you said, that firing, like, there's no way, I don't care how much there's no way you could rattle what she, as quickly and get those answers. And I think that's why Wayne Dyer knew she was right, because
Oh,
he couldn't go, he couldn't go up against it, because he knew what I believe. I mean, I'm sure you were there. I'm sure that you could tell that he was just like, okay.
yeah, he had to just say, yeah, you're right. You know.
Yeah.
So let me tell you another story, just because. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's an Abraham Hicks meetup. We're in a room that happened to be in a library, and there was a girl there who came, young woman, and I don't remember seeing her ever before or since.
Okay.
She comes in and she's sitting there and she tells us story. She had introduced her father to Abraham Hicks,
Hmm.
and he's an older guy and not very tech savvy and stuff, and has no idea what this is about. Doesn't know what channeling is, nothing. And he's going to catch a plane someplace. He's going somewhere, and he's at the airport, and I don't know if they were on the phone or something, but he's on his phone or on an iPad or something, and he's watching a YouTube video of Esther. And he's sitting there, and this woman sits down next to him and looks and like, do you know who that is? He's like, I don't know. My daughter told me to watch this. That's me. And so
Wait, it was Esther?
it was Esther, and she said, that's me. And so it's like, oh, so your daughter told me, let's call her. They called her. Right? She didn't answer the phone. So she has a recording. If she had answered the phone, we'd all be like, yeah, cool, prove it. Right? But
Right.
she's got the recording. She played the recording for us. And it's Esther going, hi, Judy, whatever her name was. This is Esther Hicks. I'm sitting here with your father at the airport, and 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 just this nice little message. So everybody is going, I got goosebumps. Everybody is like, oh my God, oh, how cool is that? Her father was at the wrong terminal. He was in the wrong place. Or was he? Right? But
Right.
that was not where his plane was going to leave from.
Oh my God.
It's too many things to say, oh, well, that's a coincidence. Yeah, I don't think so.
Nah. No, I don't think so. But you know what, Tim? I knew that we were going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I want to talk to you again, because I'm going to read your other book. We're going to do this again. We can do this a lot. I don't care. I love talking with somebody who gets it. And I learned, I mean, I remember that bad mood I was in
Yeah.
for no good reason at all, like not even a reason. And now I'm already like, oh, okay, I got today. I got this. I can do today. And that's all it takes.
Yeah, doesn't take much, huh?
No, it really doesn't. So everybody, I'm going to put Tim's links below here, so you can go get this book on Amazon, and you can get the audio book also. And Tim and I are going to continue this conversation and do another one of these. I'm going to read his other book, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It was fun.
Thank you. Back. Thank you everyone for watching my interview with Tim. Oh my God, I got so much out of that interview, and he like instantly cheered me up because I wasn't having such a great day, and I'm so happy I got to talk to him. And guess what? I'm talking to him again. We'll probably talk a couple more times at least. So anyway, thank you for watching. All of the links will be listed below, the one to his Amazon and the one to his podcast, which I'm going to go listen to. So everyone, thank you for watching.